You know, in our digital world, we're all building these incredible castles in the cloud. But what if the keys to those castles change themselves automatically every single hour across every single kingdom? That's not just a small improvement in security, that's a total revolution. And today, we're going to break down exactly how it works.
Seriously, just think about that for a second. Your company's master key to its most critical database, gone, and replaced with a brand new one every 60 minutes. If a password ever leaked, it'd be useless almost as soon as it was stolen. Sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, right? Well, it's not. It is the reality of dynamic secrets.
All right, so here's our game plan. We'll start with the big problem, these old school static secrets. Then we'll introduce the automated solution, break down the multi-cloud architecture that makes it all possible, see the whole rotation process in action, zoom in on the super important testing phase, and finally, look at the impact of security that, well, truly never sleeps. Okay, first things first, let's talk about the enemy here, static secrets. These are the passwords and API keys that get set up once and then, well, they just sit there for weeks, months, heck, sometimes even years. They're not just credentials, they're literally ticking time bombs waiting for a breach. This comparison really tells the whole story, doesn't it? On the left, you've got the old way. Set it, forget it, and basically cross your fingers and hope for the best. It's a high-risk approach that's totally dependent on us humans remembering to do something. But on the right, that's the new paradigm. Secrets are short-lived, the risk is super low, and the whole thing is completely automated. It's a fundamental shift from a defensive game to an actively resilient one.
So how do we fight back against these time bombs? Well, we build a solution. We build an automated system that acts like a digital locksmith working for you 24/7, tirelessly replacing the keys long before the old ones can ever be misused. It's security on autopilot.
And here's the official term for it, automated secrets rotation. Put simply, it's just a process that uses code to change your passwords for you on whatever schedule you want. But the key phrase here, the one you've got to remember, is without human intervention. This takes the single biggest point of failure in credential management right out of the equation. Us. Now, this solution's power really shines in today's world, where we're all using multiple cloud providers and platforms. It has to work everywhere, right? Seamlessly connecting services from AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud, and even within your own Kubernetes clusters, which are just these awesome systems for managing your applications in their own secure little containers. This table kind of maps out the key players. So each cloud provider you'll see has its own special vault for storing secrets, like AWS has Secrets Manager and Azure has Key Vault. Our pipeline is what connects these vaults to the systems that actually need the passwords, like an Amazon database. And yeah, you'll see Azure and Google Cloud targets are illustrative here, but in a real-world setup, you could be rotating keys for an Azure SQL database or a Google Cloud storage bucket. This system becomes the universal translator for all your multi-cloud security. So how does this all come together? The best way to picture it is like a perfectly synchronized relay race. It's a series of automated handoffs that have to be executed flawlessly, every single time without dropping the baton. And here are the 6 legs of that race. First, a trigger kicks the whole thing off. The pipeline then generates a brand new, super strong secret. It immediately deploys that new secret to the target system, like the database. Then, and this is the most critical part, it tests it. Only after that test is successful does it tell the application to start using the new secret. And finally, it revokes the old one. Boom! Clean, safe, and completely hands-off. And that brings us to that crucial 4th step, the test. Because, let's be honest, you simply cannot afford to automate a process that might accidentally lock your own applications out of their database. You have to trust the system, and that trust is built on one thing, verification. This quote just says it all, doesn't it? When it comes to security automation, testing isn't just a nice-to-have feature. It's everything. It's the absolute foundation, the safety net that lets you run this incredibly powerful engine with complete confidence. So how does this actually work without causing chaos? Well, before the final switch happens, the pipeline takes the new password and uses it to connect to a health check endpoint. You can think of it like a designated "Are you there?" address. It's basically asking the database, hey, does this new key I just made work? If it gets a yes, the cutover continues. If it gets a no, the whole process stops, it raises an alarm, and nothing breaks. It's a brilliantly simple safety check. And when you put all of these pieces together, you get the big payoff. You get a security posture that is constantly renewing itself. It's proactive, it's resilient, and it never, ever takes a day off. The benefits here are just massive. That window of opportunity for an attacker, it shrinks from potentially months down to just a few hours or even minutes. Human error is totally eliminated from the process. Security audits become a breeze because you have a perfect automated log of every single change. It makes life so much easier for your DevOps teams, and you're not just solving today's problems, you're building a security framework that will scale across any cloud you decide to use in the future. So I'll leave you with this final thought. As we automate away these critical, but let's face it, repetitive tasks, we free up our human experts to focus on the next level of challenges. So what is that new frontier? What does a security engineer do when the passwords can manage themselves? That's definitely something to think about. Thanks so much for joining me for this breakdown.